Magandang araw! Isa ka ba sa mga batang mahilig sa numbers? O isa ka sa mga batang natatakot o nahihirapang intindihin ang mga mathematical concept? Huwag kang mag-alala, nandito ako upang tulungan ka. Ang mathematics ay gagawin nating easy, fun, and exciting. With me, Teacher Rogelyn. Our topic for today is all about performing a series of two or more operation using the MDAS rules. MDAS means M for multiplication, D for division, A for addition, and S for subtraction. Objectives. After going through this lesson, the students are expected to identify the correct procedure in performing series of operation, understand and explain the relationship between the four fundamental operations, and solve series of operations applying multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. And now, let's take a look at these following equations. We have 10 times 5 divided by 2 plus 10 minus 3 equals n. Number 2, 4 plus 4 times 2 equals n. And number 3, we have 20 divided by 5 minus 1 equals n. And number 4, the last number, 12 plus 13 minus 4 times 5 equals n. And now, look at these equations. How can we solve these problems? As you can see here, each equation have a series of operation. There is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. We have a lot of operation mixed up in one equation. But how do we solve this? We can solve those equations using the MDAS rules. Class, remember that there are rules to be followed to get the correct answer. Rule number 1. Multiply or divide first in the order as they come from the left to right. And next we have rule number 2. Add or subtract in order as they come from the left to right. Now, class, let's try to solve this following equation. 10 times 5 divided by 2 plus 10 minus 3.
Doing the MDAS rule, rule number 1, multiply or divide first in the order as they come from the left to right. So we would have multiplication and division. So to know which one will you solve, check which operation comes first from the left, since multiplication comes from first before division. We will solve for 10 times 5 and the answer is 50. Then bring down all the digits and operations that we still need to solve. Since we have division, addition, and subtraction, following the MDAS rule, we need to solve first for division. So we have 50 divided by 2 and the answer is 25. Then again, let's bring down the remaining digit and operations, and now we have addition and subtraction. For rule number 2, add or subtract in order as they come from left to right. Now, since addition comes before the subtraction, we will first add 25 plus 10, which is 35. Then bring down again the remaining digit and operation. So we have 35 minus 3 equals 32. So 10 times 5 divided by 2 plus 10 minus 3 is equals to 32.
Now class, always remember this one, that MDOS does not necessarily say that the order of operation is always multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Take note that the multiplication and division can interchange. This means that you can divide first and division comes first from the left to right. And also, addition and subtraction can also be interchange. You can also solve for subtraction before addition if it comes first from the left to right.
Let's have an example. So we have 26 divided by 13 times 10 minus 17. So for rule number 1, multiply or divide first in the order as they come from the left to right. So we have division and multiplication. Since division is in the left, so we will first solve for 26 divided by 13. We have 2. Bring down all the remaining digits and operations, so we will have 2 times 10 minus 17. So we have here multiplication, so we'll solve for 2 times 10 is 20. Then bring down for the remaining digit. So for rule number 2, okay, we will now solve for addition and subtraction. So we have 20 minus 17 is equals to 3. Therefore, 26 divided by 13 times 10 minus 17 equals 3.
Class, I have here some equation, and this time let's try to answer this one by using the MDOS rule. Number 1, 4 plus 4 times 2 equals n. Number 2, 20
Divided by
5 minus 1 equals n. And number 3, we have 12 plus 13 minus 4 times 5 equals n. Now class, I will give you 5 minutes to answer this one. And now, let's check your work.
To solve this, following the MDOS rule, we will have first solve for rule 1. Multiply or divide first in the order as they come from left to right. So we have multiplication. So solve for 4 times 2, which is 8. Then bring down the digit and operation that we need to solve. For rule 2, we can now add or subtract. So in this situation, we have 4 plus 8 equals 12. Therefore, 4 plus 4 times 2 equals 12. So next, we have 20 divided by 5 minus 1. Following the MDOS rule, for rule number 1, multiply or divide first in the order as they come from left to right. So we have division. 20 divided by 5 equals 4. Then bring down the remaining digit and operation. For rule 2, we have add or subtract in order as they come from left to right. So 4 minus 1 equals 3. Therefore, 20 divided by 5 minus 1 equals 3. So next we have 12 plus 13 minus 4 times 5. Following the MDOS rule again, we will first solve for multiplication or division. So we have multiplication. So we'll compute for 4 times 5, which is 20. Bring down the digit and operation that we need to solve. So we have 12 plus 13 minus 20. And for rule number 2, we will now compute for addition and subtraction. Since addition comes first before subtraction, now add 12 plus 13, which is 25. Then again, bring down the remaining digit and operation. So we have subtraction. Now 25 minus 20 equals 5. Therefore, 12 plus 13 minus 4 times 5 equals 5.
And now, I will give you another activity. And this time, I will give you 5 minutes to answer the following equations. Time starts now. Time's up! Let's check your work!
For number 1, 4 plus 8 divided by 2 minus 7 equals 1. Number 2, 12 times 3 minus 4 plus 0 equals 32. For number 3, 12 plus 15 minus 4 times 5 equals 7. Number 4, 15 minus 10 times 2 plus 17 equals 22. And for the last number, 20 plus 5 times 4 divided by 2 equals 30.
Now class, what is MDAS again? Very good! MDAS stands for the basic operations, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. And always remember the 2 rules. The first rule say that multiply or divide first in the order as they come from left to right. And rule number 2, add or subtract in the order as they come from the left to right. And class, remember that you need to do multiplication or division first before you do addition or subtraction. And now let's evaluate your learning. I have here another activity. The direction is read and understand each item. Choose the letter of the correct answer. And now, let's start.
For number 1, simplify 5 times 4 plus 11. If your answer is letter A, 31, you are right. We do multiplication first before addition. For number 2, the sum of 23 and 6 subtracted to the sum of 12 and 9. Now, if your answer is letter C, 8, you are right. We do addition first before we subtract 23 plus 6 is 29 minus the sum of 12 and 9, which is 21. We get 8. For number 3, the difference of 17 and 9 added to the product of 4 and 6. If your answer is D, 32, you are right. 17 minus 9 is 8 plus the product of 4 and 6, which is 24. We get 32. Number 4. Simplify 12 divided by 4 times 6 minus 5 plus 7. If your answer is A, 20, you are right. 12 divided by 4 is 3 times 6, we get 18 minus 5 is 13 plus 7 equals 20. And for the last number, number 5, Jaden sold 8 kilograms of grapes a day for 5 days. He earned a total of 7,200 pesos. How much did he earn per kilogram of grapes? Now, if your answer is letter B, 180 pesos, you are right. 8 times 5 is 40, then we are going to divide 7,200 by 40 to get how much he earned per kilogram of grapes.
Class, always remember that do multiplication or division first before you do addition or subtraction, whichever comes first from the left to right. And always remember that one. Class, before we end our lesson, now I will give you an assignment. And all you have to do is to understand and solve the following problems using addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And write your answer in your notebook. And that is the end of our lesson for today, and I hope you learned something. And it's time to say goodbye and see you next time. Have a nice day!